Hi everyone, good day. Thank you for joining me in this mini yoga practice today. So, in case you don't know me, my name is Lindsay. I am here in Lviv right now, and I am an MHPSS and protection advisor with HelpAge, and I'm also a yoga teacher. So, I thought it might be nice to record a short video in case anyone wants to join in for a short yoga session. You can do so from your home. And yeah, it's something nice to do to take care of ourselves. Maybe some of you are familiar and have already practiced yoga in the past. And if it's new to you, that's okay. This is going to be a yoga practice today that's accessible for everyone. So I'll give you different options, and yeah, it'll really be about getting the basics. And if anyone is interested, we could even do this on a regular basis and build up to other yoga shapes into the future. So I just want to start by saying that yoga is really for everyone. I think in the past, the media, social media has made it seem like it's for a certain type of person. You have to be very flexible and get yourself into all kinds of funny shapes. But really, it's for any body. And there's ways to make each shape accessible for any type of body, for older people, for younger people, for people with disabilities, for men, for women. It doesn't matter. It's really about focusing on your breathing and focusing on what feels good for you. So it's a way to come back into connection with yourself, with your mind, with your body, and getting those all working together. And it's not about what looks good or what the person next to you is doing or the person on Instagram, but really what feels good for you. And yeah, so I just want us to start by letting go of all of the preconceived notions that we have about what yoga is or what it isn't. And yeah, just really focus on making this your practice. So if there's anything today that feels not quite right for you, you can feel free to skip. You can take a break. You can modify. You can go faster. You can go slower. So it's 100% free for you to make it your own. You can pause the video, come back to it, and yeah, and that's all okay. That's all yoga. You can sit here and breathe, and that's yoga. So that's the lovely thing about it. It's whatever you make of it, and the point is to bring you a sense of peace in your mind and connectedness with your body and your surroundings. It can also improve your health, your physical health, your mental health. If you practice yoga regularly, it can improve your strength. It can improve your flexibility. But I think even more importantly, it can give you this sense of inner calm and ability to regulate your mind, your body, your breath, and to be able to take that with you into regular life when things get stressful. You remember to always come back to your breath. You always have that with you. And yeah, it can be a really powerful tool. Right, so let's begin. We're going to begin in a chair, actually. So that's the other thing about today's practice is you don't need a yoga mat. In case you don't have one, that's perfectly fine for today. I designed this class so that it can be accessible to anyone, even if you have never done yoga before, if you have no yoga mat. You just need a chair and a big enough space that you can, open up and not hit anything. And yeah, and maybe you can make your space comfortable. I have a candle, whatever makes you feel cozy. And let's begin. So sit upright on your chair. If you're like me and you have shorter legs, it means you have to scoot up on the edge of the chair in order for your feet to be planted on the earth. So for today, I would recommend removing your shoes, having on some comfortable clothes. They don't have to be yoga pants. You can just be in something that allows you to freely move. And yeah, so I like to have my feet without socks, without shoes, because it means you can really connect to the earth. And later on, whenever we start to do some standing movements, it means you are less likely to slip and fall if you don't have socks on. So that's my recommendation if it's possible for you. Okay, so come to a seated position on your chair. Make sure your feet are planted firmly into the floor, the ground beneath you. And you can rest your palms on your knees and lengthen up through your spine and the top of your head. And just take a few breaths here, just slowing down your breathing, coming into the present moment, allowing yourself to really fully become present with what's going on in your body. Breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. More breaths like this at your own pace. And then begin to relax through the shoulders. Letting any tension that you're carrying with you from the week just melt away. You can even envision it melting into the floor beneath you. You sigh it out. Okay, and then whenever you're ready, we are going to start with some neck rolls. So we can begin by bringing our chin towards our chest. So just look down. And then you're going to roll your head to the right to begin. So your right ear will come towards your right shoulder and then all the way around to start. So let me show you. One, you can do a few of these at your own pace and really allowing yourself to take it slow, whatever feels good for you. And you might feel some cracks and crinkles, and just pause and work through those. You can even go back and forth if it feels nice, like this. Moments to roll out your neck, and then you can go the opposite direction. Okay, when you're ready, you can come back to center. Head side to side a few times. And nod your head yes a few times. Great. Now we are going to do a side stretch. So again, make sure your feet are firmly planted on the earth. we're going to hold on with our right hand to the right side of our chair. So get into a comfortable position that allows you to feel stable. And we're going to reach down and grab the side of the chair with our right hand. And with our left hand, we're going to reach it up and overhead. So go as far as it feels good for you. You can stop whenever you like, or if you want to try to go a bit further. Just breathe into this. So you want a nice stretch in your left side body. And keep coming back to that breath. Breaths here. Or look up at your hand or close your eyes, whichever feels good for you. Return back to center. Take a breath in, breath out, and then we will do the same thing on the other side. So with your left arm, grab your left side of the chair, and with your right arm, you're going to reach it up overhead. And if you need to readjust so you don't fall over, feel free to readjust. It's okay. And then breathe into this right side of your body. Paying attention not to strain in your neck. Allow your neck to feel relaxed. Focusing here on that stretch in the right side. So we're just trying to open up the right side of our body. Here. And then come back to center. To do a few cat-cow moves. And if you're not familiar, I will show you. So I'm going to turn this way just for a moment on my chair, just so you can see the way my back is moving. So if you're on the ground in a different type of yoga class, this would look like a cat. So basically, you're going to put your hands on your knees, and you're going to round your back and arch your shoulders forward like a scared cat. So you want to think of like a cat with its back raised and it's a little bit scared. So getting ready for the spooky season coming up, Halloween. We're like a black cat. I'm going to round through your spine and drop your chin to towards your chest. And breathe. And then we're going to go the opposite direction. So this is called cow. And we're going to now roll our shoulders back and our chest forward and our chin upwards. Cow pose. So take a few breaths and do this at your own pace. Maybe 3 on either shape. So alternating between cat and cow. Don't forget to breathe throughout. Finish up whichever cycle you are on. Come back to your seat. Okay, and the seated posture we're going to do is a twist. So come back to that comfortable seat, feeling stable, feeling our feet grounded into the earth. And we're going to now bring our right hand to the back of our chair and our left hand to our right knee and turn towards the back of your chair. So twisting over your right shoulder. You can go as far as it feels good. Maybe you turn to the wall next to you, Or if it feels comfortable to do so, you can continue turning your gaze over your back shoulder. And you should feel a nice twist in your spine. And you want to continue to focus on lengthening up through the crown of your head while you twist. And of course, breathe. Or make your way slowly back to the center. And we're going to take the same twist on the left side now. To reach our left hand to the back of the chair. Right hand to the left knee. Lengthen up through the crown of your head, up through the spine. So tall, nice and tall spine. And then slowly start to twist over towards the left side of the room. And if you'd like, you can continue twisting, maybe even gazing over your left shoulder. And that nice, juicy twist in your spine. I really love twists. I think it feels good, but maybe not everyone agrees, so you can back off whenever you like. Slowly make your way back to center. Take your time. And then you can maybe shake it all out. Notice how you're feeling in your body. Notice if you feel any difference from the beginning of the practice to now. And allowing yourself to feel whatever comes up. If nothing comes up, that's okay. If you're feeling, maybe you're working up a sweat, that's okay too. But just notice without judgment. Right, now we're going to come up onto our feet. So let's get rid of the chair. You can keep it nearby if you want it in case of, in case it feels good to like have it to grab onto. Feel free to keep it nearby. I'm just going to move mine out of the way. Okay, so I'm just standing. And again, you don't need a yoga mat. I'm not using one today. So just make sure you have a nice flat surface with nothing in the way to trip over. And we're going to start in mountain pose. Mountain pose is just a standing pose, but with power, with intention. So everything we do in yoga is with intention behind it. So with mountain, we want to really focus on firmly planting our feet into the earth. So I like to imagine that there's actually little roots growing out of my feet, and I'm standing tall like a tall tree. And the roots are actually grounding you in and giving you that firm, solid base for stability and support. And then palms will come out at our sides and face forward. Your shoulders roll back slightly. And this is mountain pose. And then we just breathe. It can be really a powerful pose. To imagine myself as a tree, really standing tall, proud, strong. Here, set an intention for your yoga practice. So it could be an intention for this moment right now, for today, or perhaps you want to set an intention for your yoga practice going forward. And it could be something like practicing yoga for a short period of time every week, or it could be to stay more present in the current moment, day to day. So just take a moment to think about what resonates for you and hold that intention in your heart. Okay, so now we're going to do a little bit of a balancing movement. So again, thinking about really rooting our feet into the earth for support, stability. We're going to roll up onto the balls of our feet. So coming up into the balls, onto your toes. Good. Breathe. Slowly lower and then rock backwards onto your heels. Now, I have the wall right behind me. You might want to get close to a wall if you think you might be a little bit wobbly, and that's okay. Your body will often find its way back into a balance. It recenters itself. It's amazing what our bodies can do. So trust yourself and slowly rock backwards and forwards. Coming onto the balls of your feet, rocking back onto the heels. It's okay if you wobble or tip over. Taking it nice and slow. Keep breathing here. Do one more round at your own pace. Come back to center whenever you're ready. Shake out your legs. Great. Now we're going to do some upper body movements. So come a little bit away from the wall now. Again, really ground into your feet. Feel them firmly planted, rooted into the earth. Your feet can be about hip width distance, whatever feels stable for you. So you can stand here and feel like you've got solid footing. You're not going to wobble too much and tip over. And now we're going to sync our movement with our breath, which is an important part of yoga and really can bring our body in connection with our mind and connection with our entire energy. So plant your feet. We're going to breathe in and at the same time lift our arms up overhead. And you can have a slight bend in your knees for this. So you can watch me and then join in. So breathe in. Breathe out. Hands come down to the side. So let's do that a few times together. So breathe in, lift your arms up overhead. Pause. Breathe out. Hands come back down to your sides. Again, you can do this at your own pace. My breath, my movement pace might not match up with what feels natural for you. So please go at your own pace and maybe do 3 more. Nice. Okay. Whenever you're finished, come back to standing in the center. And now we're going to do a fun little silly movement, which a yoga teacher of mine in the past has called knocking on heaven's door. So basically let your arms hang and we're just going to start swinging our arms from side to side. You can have a slight bend in your knee when you do this. And gradually, if it feels right, you can speed it up. Maybe going a little bit faster, twisting a little bit further, allowing your arms to just land on your body wherever they land. Maybe they're hitting you in the backside or on your hip. Just take a few moments to breathe here, letting go of how you look. It kind of feels silly, but that's the point. And then slowly find your way back to the center. Back to stillness. Breath here. How you feel. Beautiful. So now we are going to get into some standing poses that can start to build up strength and also balance. So the first shape we're going to do is called Warrior Two. And for this, we're going to bring our legs out wide. So this leg, for me it's my left, is going to be facing straight ahead. And then I'm going to turn my right foot out to the side. So you notice how my heel and the arch of this back leg are perpendicular. So they're making like kind of a T shape. So that's the starting place. And then spread your legs as wide as you need in order to feel a sense of stability here. So you can widen as much as you like. And I'm going to widen a little bit more. Then we're going to bend the front knee. And you want your knee to come generally in alignment with your ankle. So you don't want to be too much this way or too much this way, but kind of right in the middle. And you can go as low as you want. If you want to stay a little bit higher, that's okay too. Just come into a place that you can hold for a few breaths. And then we're going to lift our arms up to either side. So strong arms here. You want to kind of feel like the energy is shooting out either side of your fingertips. So you can gaze over your front fingers, focusing on elongating through the arms, strong arms. Breathe here. You're going to start to feel it in your legs. I know I do. You can come out of this at any time. If you need to take a break, it's quite a fiery pose. That's why it's called warrior. We're feeling like strong warriors in this, or building our way up to that. So take a moment. You can come back into it if you like. Wherever you are, just breathe. Slowly straighten, and we're going to walk our legs a little bit closer together. Toes pointed out. And a little bit wider than hip distance. So find a comfy stance. We're going to go into a little bit of a squat. So this is called goddess. And I know what you're thinking, men out there. Goddess is not just for women. Let's all be honest with ourselves. Goddesses are strong, powerful beings. So let's take a moment to get in touch with our inner goddess, no matter what gender, sex we identify with. We're going to lower in to our thighs into a bit of a squat. You're going to start to feel it. Your quads are going to fire up. You'll feel it in your backside. That's a good feeling. So you can bring your hands up on either side, or you can have your hands at your hips. maybe even rest your hands on your thighs. That feels more supportive. Take a few breaths wherever you are. Maybe hands come to heart center. Again, you can come out of this pose whenever you like. If you need a break, it's perfectly okay. Maybe come back in for another breath or two. Remembering your intention that you set whenever things get hard. Okay, come out of that. We're going to turn into warrior two on the other side. So now turning your right foot towards the front and your left foot perpendicular. And again, finding that alignment that works for you. So everybody is different. And if I were there with you in person, I could help you make some adjustments, but we'll have to do our best through an online version. So you don't have to replicate my shape. You know, it could look totally different for you, and that's okay. What matters is that it feels good, feels empowering, and it doesn't hurt. So if anything ever feels painful, you can stop doing it immediately. Yoga should not be painful. Okay, so whenever you have the shape that works for you, we're going to lower into our hips. The knee is going to open up. So you want your knee to be going towards your baby toe. And then again, arms come out at either side, strong warrior arms. And you can gaze over your front fingers. Come out at any time. Straighten your front leg if you need a bit of a break. It can get quite fiery quite quickly. Come back in if you like for another breath. Okay, now slowly step your feet back together, make your way there. Shake it out, new legs. Amazing. Okay, we've got two more shapes for today. And they are a bit more balancy. So the first one is going to be warrior three. So we just did warrior two. Now we're going to do warrior three. And I'm going to show you using the wall for support. So you can use the wall, you can use a chair, or if you've practiced before and warrior three is something that you are comfortable and familiar with, you can do the classic warrior three without any props. But for now, because I want to make this very accessible for everyone, we're going to use the wall. So face the wall. And you're going to need to like take a few moments to figure out what, depending on how long your arms are, you'll either need to be closer or further away. So feet at hip width distance apart, roughly. And then we're going to, after we find that rooting into the ground, we're going to slowly tip forward, letting the wall catch us. So keep your feet planted, tip forwards, whoop, catch yourself on the wall, and then make some adjustments so that your arms are pretty much straight against the wall and kind of in line with your shoulders. Right, now we're going to lift one leg at a time. So I'm going to start with my right leg. So plant my left firmly into the ground. And I'm going to slowly start to lift my right leg. Now, you can come onto your toes, and maybe that's enough for today. You can feel a nice stretch here. Start to feel what it might be like to balance in this pose. And if you feel up for it, you can slowly lift that leg. And as you're doing this, you might need to adjust yourself on the wall. So I'm going to move my hands further down and slowly lift the back leg. Now, your foot is going to want to open up to the side, your hip, if you're anything like me. We want to keep our toes and our knee facing the earth beneath us. So really focus on squaring your hips to the ground. And that might mean that you can't lift your leg as high, and that's okay. We lift it just as high as it feels good today. And you can tip forward at the same time. So you're kind of counterbalancing your leg with your head and your upper body. So ultimately, you want to come into something kind of like this. You can have a slight bend in your standing leg. Let your neck relax. And really focus on that internal rotation with your right leg, your right hip, as well as rooting into that left standing leg. Again, it's going to start heating up. You might feel a bit of a burn. You can come out, take a break at any time. Maybe your wrists are starting to feel it. So let's pause, take a moment. And let's try one last time. See where we get. Great. Now, come back to standing, shake it out, your wrists, your ankles. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So, again, facing the wall. I'm root into your right foot, your right leg, and tip forward. Now, find the alignment that works for your body shape, length, position. I'm gonna walk back a little bit so that I can straighten my arms. And then slowly start to lift that left foot off the ground. Now again, you can come here if you like, or if you want to play around with lifting that foot off the earth, slowly lift, making sure to not let your hip open up like this, but to keep it squared to the earth in front of you. Slowly tip forwards, trusting that wall is going to catch you. You know, you have a good firm grip on that wall in front of you. Nice. Again, you can take a break if you need to at any point. Maybe come back in. No matter where you are, and then slowly, slowly bring your feet back, come back up to standing. Shake out your wrists. Okay, nice work, everyone. We have one last pose. This one is tree, and this is a nice balancing shape that again allows us to connect with the earth and practicing a little bit of our balance and body awareness. So let's root our left foot into the earth. And there's a couple of different variations here that you can take. So tree is new to you, or if you're feeling like you're a bit wobbly today, I totally get it. I have those days. You can keep your toes on the earth. So in this one, you kind of make a little bit of a kickstand with your bottom foot. So toes plant into the earth, heel kind of comes up above your ankle, and you externally rotate in your hips. coming into this shape. And this is tree pose. So you could stay here. You could bring your foot to your calf muscle if you're feeling like you want a little bit of a balance. You're feeling brave. And if tree is in your practice, if you're feeling comfortable and you know that this is something that you have done before, you can even lift your foot up to your thigh, coming into this variation. So whichever of the three options feels best for you, either toes on the ground, foot on the calf, or foot on the thigh, just whatever you do, don't put your foot on your knee because that could cause some pain on your knee joint there. So whichever one you choose, come into it. Your hands can either be on your hips, they can be at heart center, or if you want to grow your tree branches tall, you can bring your arms up to the sky. And what helps balance us is to find a focal point. So something like straight ahead of you, you can focus your gaze on, just lightly stare at that point. That allows us to have a bit more balance and stability. Take a few breaths here, wherever you are. Slowly making your way back to center. Coming back to that mountain pose that we did earlier on. And we're going to switch to our other leg. So now right leg, right foot grounds into the earth. Left foot, again, can take the same variation. So either your ankle, your calf, or your thigh. Again, avoiding your knee. Maybe you get a bit wobbly and you can think of yourself as like a tree swaying in the wind. And then find your stability, find your focal point, and again, you can bring your hands to heart center, to your hips, or you can reach them up overhead, looking up to the sky, the ceiling, whatever's above you. And focusing again on coming back to the breath. Nice. Slowly make your way back, standing. And to close this practice, we're going to come back to a seat. So you can either sit on the floor, you can sit in the chair that you had earlier, which is what I'm going to do. Or, honestly, you can sit on the couch, you can lie down. Whatever feels supportive for you. And we're just going to slow it down now. Back into a comfortable or lying down position. To our breath. Slowing it down. Maybe your breath and your heart were starting to race there from it. It's okay. Just notice. Maybe even bring your hands to your heart space. My heart is going faster than normal. Allow yourself a few moments to just come back to your equilibrium. Up that intention that you said earlier in the practice. Trust that you will bring that intention into your day, your week ahead. And just remember that you can always come back to this breath. So it doesn't have to be in a yoga class. I oftentimes throughout the course of the day, stressed out, I'm feeling anxious, Just focus on slowing down, maybe even counting my breaths. It's amazing how the breath can regulate your whole nervous system and help you to feel a bit more calm and at ease. And, in the past few weeks, this has been so helpful for me, and I'm sure some of you all have been experiencing increased stress levels. So there's one more tool to add to your toolkit whenever you're feeling, just a bit on edge. No matter where you are, you can always come back to your breath and have it with you wherever you go, which is lovely. Okay, so I just want to invite you to take a moment to thank yourself for taking some time, focus on you, a bit of self-care, self-love. You deserve it. And thank you for joining. Thank you for showing up and sharing this practice with me. And I hope we can do this again soon. So sending you lots of peace and joy into your day and into the coming days ahead. And I will see you again soon. As we say in the yoga world, namaste.